No one expects their life to fall apart before breakfast at 9:12 a.m. I was standing in a glass meeting room, holding a mug of lukewarm coffee while my manager, Philip, smiled the kind of smile people wear at funerals. The HR woman beside him pretended to straighten her papers, but her hands were shaking like she already knew this would be a disaster. "Mia," Philip said, lacing his fingers on the table, "regarding your raise request. We've reviewed it and decided your role does not justify an additional $50. $50, not $50,000, $50. I blinked once. Twice. I had helped keep this company alive for 3 years. I had trained half the IT department myself. I had solved every emergency, every glitch, every meltdown while executives sat in meetings taking credit for my work. But a $50 raise? That was unjustifiable. Before I could speak, he added, "And we've also decided to move forward without your position." My stomach twisted. "You're firing me?" Philip nodded, almost relieved. "Effective immediately. At 9:12 a.m. I lost my job. At 9:20 a.m., they revoked my KEYCARD. At 9:31 a.m. I walked out of the building carrying a cardboard box filled with a dying plant, 2 notebooks, and a coffee mug that said "World's Okayest Programmer," and at 10:04 a.m., while I sat in my car trying not to cry, their entire $67 million system collapsed. My name is Mia Carter, and for the past 3 years, I was a senior systems analyst at Yatek Industries, a fancy name for a company that ran half its operations on duct tape, prayer, and undocumented legacy code older than me. I was the one who kept the digital Frankenstein alive. Not Philip. Not HR. Not upper management. Me. I didn't mean to become the company's emergency paramedic. It just happened. When systems crashed at 3 a.m., it was always my phone that rang. When databases froze, I got the frantic Slack messages. When customers complained, leadership blamed IT bugs, meaning me, but I didn't complain. I grew up being told that hard work meant everything. My mom used to say, "If you give your best, the world will give back too." Funny how wrong she was. Last December, the company had hit a critical point. We needed to upgrade our primary data pipeline, a monstrous chunk of outdated code, held together by 2 brilliant engineers who quit back to back and left no documentation. Guess who inherited it? Yep. Me. For months, I rewrote, optimized, stabilized, and bandaged that beast of a system. Some nights I slept in the office, wrapped in a blanket taken from the wellness room. Other nights I ran on cold pizza and half-hearted compliments like, "You saved us again." Matt, but don't expect miracles. My annual review was supposed to change things. Finally. I walked in with confidence, numbers, metrics, proof that the company's entire infrastructure rested on my shoulders. I didn't even ask for much. $50 more per paycheck, not per hour. Not per day. Per paycheck. And still, I got fired. HR escorting me out like I was a criminal who might steal a chair on my way out. By the time I reached the parking lot, anger had replaced humiliation. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, thinking, how can people be this ungrateful? How can a company treat someone like they're disposable? But I didn't know yet that fate has a cruel sense of timing. Because while I was still parked outside the company building, something catastrophic was already unfolding inside. At 10:04 a.m., my phone buzzed with a barrage of notifications. 10 missed calls, all from numbers connected to Yatek. Let it ring. At 10:07 a.m. Another call, this time from Philip. I answered out of curiosity. "Mia." "Thank God. Listen," I hung up. He called again. And again and again. Finally, I picked up. His voice came out frantic. "Our production servers are down. Everything is down. The pipeline isn't responding, the database locked itself, and customer data isn't coming through." So? I said calmly. I could hear shouting in the background. Phones ringing. People panicking. "Mia, we need you to come back." I laughed. "You fired me less than an hour ago." "That was a misunderstanding." "No, Philip. A misunderstanding is when someone calls you the wrong name. You called me not worth $50. Mia, please. This is affecting millions." 67 million, I corrected. They never listened to me before. Now they needed me? Good. I hung up again. They tried contacting me through every channel: email, text, my personal LinkedIn, even my old desk phone, which no longer existed. Then the group chat screenshots started rolling in from my former coworkers. Greater than. Server 3 froze. Pipeline dead. Everything is bottlenecking. Did anyone update the config file? Where is Mia? My former coworker Jenna texted me privately. Greater than Jenna, you didn't touch anything before leaving, right? Me, I didn't need to Jenna. What does that mean? Me, ask Philip. It was true, I hadn't tampered with their system, but they didn't know one important detail. I was the only person who knew how to stabilize the new update. The only one who understood the sequence of hotfixes keeping the servers from collapsing. The only one who documented the patches and documentation? Yeah, Philip deleted it 2 weeks ago because he thought proper indexing slows down the system. The man literally deleted my safety net. So now their system was choking exactly as I had said it would. By 10:31 a.m. It hit the news. A tech blog posted, breaking, Tech Industries experiencing major system outage. Customers unable to access data. A finance page posted, greater than. Yadex stock down 11% in 30 minutes. A customer forum posted, greater than anyone else losing access. I've been locked out for 20 minutes. I watched it all unfold from my car while eating the stale granola bar I found in my glove compartment. Then my phone buzzed again. This time, it was the CEO. Not Philip. Not HR. The CEO. I answered reluctantly. Mia, he said, breathless. I've been informed that you're the only one who can recover our systems. That sounds accurate. I want to formally apologize. No, name your price. I sat up straighter. Price? Yes, he said hurriedly. Whatever salary adjustment you are requesting, I'll approve it. I almost laughed. I don't want a raise, I said. He hesitated. Then what do you want? I took a slow breath. All right, I said. Here's what I want. I arrived back at the office at 11:02 a.m. Not because I felt loyal, but because I knew leverage was a powerful weapon. The lobby looked like a war zone. Employees were running, phones ringing, executives sweating through silk. Ties. Staff gathered around screens showing red, blinking error messages. Philip spotted me first. He rushed over, flustered. Mia, thank you for coming. We'll sort out your paperwork later. I held up a hand. No paperwork until we talk. The CEO appeared behind him, wiping sweat from his forehead. Mia, I'll take you to the conference room. No, I replied. We'll talk right here. He blinked. In the hallway? I nodded. In front of your team? People stopped what they were doing. Turn. Watch. Philip frowned. This isn't. I cut him off. First condition, public acknowledgement of why the failure happened. The CEO nodded slowly. Fine, Philip? Philip swallowed hard, then spoke with the enthusiasm of a man forced to confess at gunpoint. I terminated Mia this morning. She was responsible for maintaining the main data pipeline. We underestimated her role. I raised an eyebrow. That's all you're going to admit? His lip twitched. We also dismissed her request for a $50 raise. Gas filled the hallway. Jenna whispered, 50? Oh my God. Good, I said. Next condition. The CEO folded his arms. What else do you want? 3 things. Everyone leaned in. 1, I said clearly, I want a new role, head of systems architecture. Full authority. No, Philip. Philip's face drained of color. That's not, he began. 2, I continued. I want a salary that reflects market value. $19 okay, plus a signing bonus of $25,000. The CEO's panic softened into calculation. He was already crunching numbers. And 3, I said. Locking eyes with Philip, I want permanent decision-making authority on all technical changes. No more deleting documentation because someone thinks it. Slows things down. A few employees stifled laughter. The CEO inhaled, exhaled, then nodded. Done. Philip spun toward him. You can't be serious. The CEO snapped. Our stock is down 15%, Philip. I'm extremely serious. Philip shut his mouth. Now, the CEO said to me, can you please fix our system? I smiled. Yes, but you'll watch me do it. I walked to the server room where 6 panicked engineers hovered. Screens pulsed red. Error codes spilled across dashboards like digital blood. I pulled up a chair. Everyone, I said calmly. Step back. They obeyed. I scanned the screen stat just as I expected. Two critical dependencies had been updated automatically because Philip disabled the lock I put in place to prevent unauthorized updates. This triggered a domino effect. The outdated components failed. The data pipeline choked, requests froze. And the database locked itself as a failsafe. A perfect storm. A preventable storm. I began typing. It wasn't dramatic. No hacking movie magic. Just precision. Line by line. I restored the original configurations, reset the pipeline, purged locked. Tasks. Reverse the corrupt update, restarted the system. 20-7 minutes later. The servers purred back to life. Green lights, stable. Functions. Data flowing smoothly again. The room burst into cheers. Philip looked like he might faint. The CEO shook my hand like I do. Saved his firstborn. I simply checked my watch. It was 11:46 a.m. and I, the woman, who was not worth $50, had just saved their $67 million system in under an hour. 3 weeks later, I sat in my new office, my nameplate shining. Mia Carter, head of systems, RC Chaditc Tier Philip, meanwhile, was quietly reassigned to a non-leadership position after the audit revealed he ignored my recommendations for 6 months straight. The CEO personally apologized again. Har gave me back pay from the moment they fired me. The company newsletter even praised me for exceptional leadership under pressure. Funny how quickly villains become heroes when something breaks, but the best part? The part that still makes me smile? A new hire walked past my office one afternoon and peeked inside. You're Mia, right? He said, the one who saved the company? I shrugged. I just fixed a problem. He grinned. That's not what people say. They say you carried this whole place for years without credit. Glad they're finally paying you what you're worth. I sat back, breathing deeply, because for once, the world did give back, not because I worked quietly, not because I stayed loyal, but because I finally demanded what was mine. People always say not to burn bridges, but sometimes some bridges deserve to be set on fire, especially the ones built on disrespect. And I'll never forget the exact moment everything changed. 9:12 a.m. fired. 10:04 a.m. They begged me back, all because I asked for $50. And that will forever be the funniest thing about this entire story.